Tavuli News today, Speaker of Parliament warns members of Parliament 2 days left to scrutinise the Public Service Bill. Women lead workforce in Solomon Islands. Dr. Minando Paul inspires through health content on Facebook. And in sports, 3-7 cardio tennis marks 1 year milestone with boost from Team Up. Hello and welcome. I'm Lisa Osifello. Speaker of Parliament Patson Oti has reminded members of Parliament that they have only today, Wednesday, and tomorrow, Thursday, this week, to complete scrutiny of the 136-clause Public Service Bill 2025. The reminder comes after Tuesday's session was disrupted due to a lack of a quorum, with only 8 clauses examined so far. Repeated delays this month have forced the Speaker to suspend proceedings multiple times. The bill aims to reform the public service and is currently at the clause-by-clause review stage before its final reading.
At this juncture, may I also remind members that we only have today and tomorrow to dispose of the bill. The bill in itself is actually 136 clauses. We only completed 8 yesterday, and we have 128 clauses to dispose of today and tomorrow. On that note, that leaves us with, as I said, 128 more clauses to go, and as such, I beseech your indulgence to avoid lack of quorum, a situation that would still stall our progress.
Now, just before Parliament wrapped up today, Wednesday, Leader of Opposition and Member of Parliament for Aukilangalanga called on the matter of a quorum based on the numbers of members of Parliament attending the afternoon session. Matthew Wale raised a question to the Speaker, Patson Oti, on Section 67 on the Constitution, ensuring that numbers make up the quorum before moving Clause 36 on the Public Service Bill 2025. But that ended up with the meeting suspended for the next day. Jeremy Guao with more.
It will be the first time, but I think when? Go to Hansen.
I can search it up.
Tomorrow you give it to me.
Oh, tonight. Tomorrow for what?
No, on public here. Not private.
Oh, yeah. But you go research himself, you have stuff.
No.
You're being unreasonable.
No. Raise it to the floor of Parliament, you have to show it on the floor of Parliament.
Constitution requires you to act, and that's all you need to do. You're not above the Constitution.
I suspend the proceedings of the committee in the interim, and the House will resume.
The central issue: who is upholding the Constitution and how are quorum rules being applied?
I'm not sure whether it has been invoked before, where in the proceedings of a meeting and suddenly the numbers return and you bring up a point of quorum. I'm not sure, unless it has been done before. So there's a precedence I can go by.
The answer, it seems, lies in Standing Order 12, but how it's interpreted in practice is raising eyebrow for the Speaker of Parliament, Patson Oti.
Parliament is just about to start, and then if there's no quorum, this point of order is raised, but not to interrupt the proceedings of meeting that suddenly there's a lack of quorum. Not in my one and a half term as presiding officer for Parliament of Solomon Islands.
Opposition leader Matiwale raised concerns over low attendance just before the vote on Clause 36 of the Public Service Bill 2025, calling for a motion to address the issue of quorum. However, the Speaker's response did not sit well with him.
Is taken by any member of Parliament present. You mean fulfill that if is no longer an if. It's happened. I have taken objection.
I have no problem with that. It's the timing of the raising of the point of order.
Well, I'm implied here. Any time no more during proceedings of Parliament, have no restricted time. This is a right of a member of Parliament during any proceedings, any part of proceedings, whether committee or in other proceedings of Parliament. And then 13.8.12.1a, clear reference to quorum of Parliament and of a committee of the whole House. So, Minusa, how do you get out of this one? You have no power to go outside of the Constitution and Order 12.1.
Okay, point taken.
According to parliamentary rules, a majority of at least 26 members of parliament is required for proceedings to continue. However, the low attendance is below 26.
Especially when we're voting law, at each vote, we have a sit down outside, time we may discuss question to and fro, but time to vote, you must get a quorum. And we don't have a quorum, and I have raised the question of quorum, and therefore you are duty bound.
During the sitting, Attorney General John Mure Jr. referred to the Section 69 of the Constitution to clarify quorum rules.
Put some clarification. Maybe on the issue of quorum is not an issue until it is raised. I think him not an issue, so the passage of that can go on. But once it is raised as an issue, then we must deal with it.
All in all, the bill now has less than 2 days left for scrutiny, but only reaches Clause 36, with 100 more clauses still to be debated. That means the pace is left questioned. For Tavuli News, I am Jeremy Gual.
Solomon Islands will host the 2026 Council of Tourism Ministers meeting, following a successful bid by Tourism Minister Choylin Yim Douglas at this year's event in Tonga. The meeting is expected to bring major economic benefits, with over 20 Pacific nations and international observers attending. Minister Douglas also raised concerns about aviation challenges and called for stronger regional cooperation, which was welcomed by Fiji. The summit, hosted by the Pacific Tourism Organization, highlights issues like sustainable tourism and cruise sector growth, with Solomon Islands youth also taking part in the key forums. Women now make up 57% of the workforce in Solomon Islands, according to the country's first ever national business census, a milestone moment highlighting a vital role of women in the nation's economy. The census was conducted across all 9 provinces and Honiara, and provides the first national snapshot of the workforce participation across the business sector. Moffat Sanau, Principal Statistics Officer, says the result is an encouraging sign of progress.
Most females, they are safe in the trading sector. Yeah? So if you walk along you just take a walk in all the shops in Honiara, or even other processing centers, you can easily see that there are a lot of females. They are engaged as shopkeepers. So you can easily see that's one of the contributing factors towards the push of the females. They are more dominant compared to male in terms of the number of employees within the country. Not only that, but other informal sector, you can easily see from the market stalls, you can easily see women, they are there full-time doing the marketing and gaining income per day while they are sitting at the stalls. So within the informal sector, you hardly see females they are engaged in such, engagement. So this is another push. This is another contributing factor towards the results or the findings. So it is interesting to see such outcomes. So just to touch on these 2 factors, they are the main 2 factors that drive the result.
The Central Bank of Solomon Islands and the Solomon Islands Financial Intelligence Unit are warning the public about rising scam involving money laundering through local bank accounts. Scammers contact victims via social media or phone, posing as employers, investors, or romantic partners. They trick people into sharing bank details or accepting deposits, which are then moved through multiple local accounts to hide the money's origin. The funds are eventually accessed overseas using Visa debit cards sent by locals. This is part of an illegal money mule operation. Authorities urge the public not to share bank details or Visa debit cards with anyone and to report any suspicious activities to banks, the Royal Solomon Islands Police Force, or the Solomon Islands Financial Intelligence Unit. Swiss-based climate foundation My Climate recently visited the Babatana Rainforest Conservation Project in Choiseul, Solomon Islands, where they met with landowners, government officials, and project partners. My Climate is a key buyer of carbon credits generated from the indigenous forest conservation efforts. These credits are sold to ethical buyers in Europe committed to meaningful climate action. Speaking to Tavuli News, Fred Tabepudu, project manager at the National Resources Development Foundation, described the visit as a major success.
Visit blow Silwana from the My Climate. I'm very impressed. Yeah, I'm very impressed now how funds money where he spent, him use wisely, where he lift him now livelihood blow community, particular what a tribe members were selling na credit law where My Climate him pay me. So him really lift him ogata him even him come look him now lo on I blame that project, especially housing and livelihood project, sanitation and housing block and those projects I'm really come look him now lo on ice blow him, yeah, where him things I move or the building nalo slen way taken from My Climate. And also him very impressed too that him say that this fellow project him fellow best project second one of the best project, yeah, lo where My Climate him part lo him. I think him project lo babatan and also one fellow project lo South America to follow now one to follow most impressive and best project lo where My Climate him part lo him say.
Tabepudu says the Babatana project has always welcomed such engagements as they help deepen understanding between buyers and the communities protecting the forests.
Look forward for meeting with someone where by not credit blocketa. So arrival blohem oketa warriors welcome and followed by reception and babu bands and welcome, even gift too, yeah. Ota give him gift to lohem, so him some really impression blocket of him ota barahaim now or him this fella My Climate right, yeah, him come look at us, so ota yeah, even that fella group and also the whole community too manage for looking because the impacts of money were coming not for the tribe itself but the wider community, even province and also within our county as well. So everyone so impressed for looking now visit My Climate right.
In less than a year, she gained a strong following on Facebook, sharing daily updates on lifestyle and health tips that are striking a chord with many. Minando Paul Kemwell, a medical doctor from the Western Province based in Vanuatu, never expected her regular post could have such an impact on people's lives. Now, despite a busy schedule balancing work and family, she still makes time to share helpful, informative content online. Jeremy Guao caught up with her to learn more.
Hi, good morning. Let's talk about rice.
Don't smoke, don't drink alcohol, don't chew fiddle nut, don't drink kava.
I just want to show you what we got. So let's just start out with good stuff. We got some coconuts.
We are now joined by the amazing Dr. Minando Paul Kemwell, all the way from Port Vila, Vanuatu. Hello, One Talk. Thank you too much for making the time to chat with us. Now, to start things off, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and take us a bit back to the beginning of your platform, how it all started, and what does it mean to you personally and also professionally?
Yes, I've been on Facebook, I think, since 2008.
And just recently, I think just this year, I started dabbling in some health content and some silly stuff. And it kind of resonated. I feel perhaps it's because when someone in a position of authority says something, it probably makes an impact. So like being a medical doctor, there is a certain when we do have a power with our words, especially when it pertains to what we do. So like medical stuff, advice, it makes an impact.
Now take us through like what's your day-to-day like, hence that you're juggling work and also having this space to, you know, come up with that and sort of like posting something on Facebook. What is my content for today? Yeah, sort of like that. How do you go about it?
Well, we leave at 6:45. I go and drop the kids. There's either 1 or 2 trips. And then if I get to work at around 7, my husband and I, we get to work at the hospital around 7. And then I have from 7 to 8, I have enough time to just do a quick post, record myself doing stuff.
So the first thing you would eat is your greens. So if you have salad or...
The inspirations for my content, they usually stuff that I just come across. Or some days it will be just things that I talk about with my friend or my sister. My sister plays an important role. She gives me ideas on content. But mostly it's very NCD related, and it's things that is happening in my life. Or recently I've been trying to lose a little bit of weight. So I've been doing intermittent fasting. So that's very interesting for myself. So when I share that, I feel like it's coming from the heart as well. So it's things that I'm going through myself.
It's probably because we love our food more than we fear disease. It's time to fear food and love health. You have a good day.
With your posting every day, what are sort of like your feedback coming back from audience, your followers? What are sort of like some feedbacks?
Okay, well, feedback largely have been very positive. I'm quite surprised. Like for today, today I went to do some work, and then I saw a follower who was so excited to see me and took a selfie with me. And I was like, I don't want that to get to my head, because I don't have a lot of followers. I'm like probably just like under 10,000 or something. And then a lot of people I meet, it's like a conversation starter. I was like, hey, I've seen you on Facebook. I've seen your posts, your videos, your clips, and I'm trying to do my best. So it's like very humbling that people are impacted and people are trying to change lifestyle because of the stuff that I've been sharing. So that's good. My kids, of course, kids find it very cringy, and they can't stand that their mom is on Facebook. But otherwise it's been largely very positive. People have been applying the principles of what I've been sharing. Now, negative feedback have just been a lot of maybe a few, nothing much, and there's a lot of trolls in my inbox as well, and a lot of unwanted messages in my inbox. But I guess that comes with being when you put yourself out there.
Pair it with healthy sides like vegetables, like fish.
What are sort of like topics that you see that people are actually following you, especially around the round of, diabetes, and sort of, what are sort of like topics that you see it catches a lot of followers?
That's a great analysis that you already. So basically the ones that you've touched on. The fasting one really, really had traction. One that was like, it blew up, which I found interesting, the dynamics, is when I spoke Bishlama. I didn't think it was such a very profound, a new thing. I just spoke about breakfast, but I spoke in Bishlama, and the fasting one, and diabetes. So those ones. And people have been like messaging me saying they're also on fasting and they're trying that. And speaking in Bishlama, I don't know whether it's just the novelty of seeing someone from another country speaking Bishlama, even though I am from, so those are the ones. And then diabetes, especially when it comes to having a first degree relative having diabetes and your risk. So those are the few that I feel have really, they've had a lot of traction.
It's been 46 hours into fasting, and it has been an extremely lethargic day, to be honest.
What are your messages for the people, might follow you on, on the space that you're doing? Yeah.
Yeah, well, as a medical doctor, I really feel like what we do today impacts our lives in 10 years' time. So all these things that we're seeing now in our 40s is the generation of sickness now. But this happened like 20 years back. So we don't have to wait until we're in our mid-40s, looking at retirement in a few years' time to start really taking our health seriously. We can start doing whatever we can now to make sure we live healthy. And I want to focus more on wellness. And you're never too old to start your health journey. And if you're sick, most of these illnesses are reversible. I may not be. There's a lot of stuff I just say because my videos are very short, but I encourage us to go online. There's just a wealth of information out there. A lot of the things I'm saying, they've been around for almost a decade now, fasting, nothing new on that. But I just really wish good health upon people for all. If anyone who wants to be I don't know, I don't think I qualify as an influencer, but for those of you who want to make content, I find that being authentic and speaking on things that you're passionate about, and just don't worry too much. We're not doing a crime. It's not a sin. As long as it's not a sin, not a crime, and you're putting yourself out there and you're not making thirst traps or anything, do wholesome content and know that life is short. And in 50 years' time, we will not be around. So don't stress too much about it. Put yourself out there, but in a respectful manner. And wish them all the best, wishing everyone the best, especially when it comes to our health.
And moving on now to regional news, former Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama has been sentenced to 12 months in prison, suspended for 3 years, after being found guilty of making unwarranted demands to sack 2 police officers. This means he will only serve jail time if he reoffends during the next 3 years. The High Court found that as Prime Minister, Bainimarama pressured the then acting Police Commissioner, Rusiate Tundravu, to fire 2 officers, even deleting a Viber message and asking Tundravu to resign. The maximum sentence for the offence is 12 years. Vorenge Bainimarama has 30 days to appeal the sentence. Papua New Guinea's political parties registrar wants tougher rules around members of parliament being able to party hop. Emmanuel Pok says party hopping by members of parliament is adding to political instability. Pok says democracy is being weakened because members of parliament are not being held accountable to the people. He says a proposed law change is now before parliament. That's regional news. Coming up next is sports.